We're giving the apartment to Ryan, my dad said while passing the keys at dinner. I just said, then he can handle the $10,000 in repairs I covered last year. They laughed until I canceled every auto payment and forwarded the bills. They left me out of their future, so I let their internet, gas, and water get cut all at once. We're giving the apartment to Ryan, my dad said, placing the keys on the table like it was nothing. I didn't move, didn't speak. Just watched his hand slide the metal across the wood like it belonged to someone else now. Then I said, quietly, then he can handle the 10 grand in repairs I covered last year. They laughed. Actually laughed. My sister let out this sharp little giggle and shook her head. Oh my God. You're still hung up on that. Mom looked uncomfortable but didn't say a word. Just sipped her wine and stared at her plate. Ryan smiled, that polite, tight-lipped kind of smile people use when they're pretending not to enjoy something cruel. Dad shrugged. You offered, Evan. Nobody forced you. That's what family does. We step up. I felt the heat in my chest, but I didn't let it show. I looked at all of them and said nothing. Not about the month I spent organizing contractors. Not about the late-night calls from the plumber. Not about the emergency leak I patched myself in January when it was 15 degrees outside. No one thanked me then. And of course, no one was thanking me now. I stood up. Where are you going? Mom asked, her voice suddenly softer. I guess I'm stepping down, I said. Ryan's got the keys now, right? I walked out. That night, I sat on my couch, opened my laptop, and canceled every auto payment linked to that address. Gas, water, internet, trash service. Even the HOA fees Dad always forgot to pay on time. Gone. 5 clicks. 10 seconds. The next morning, 11 missed calls. By lunch, my sister texted. Wi-Fi's out. Dad says to call you. Can you fix it? I didn't reply. By dinner, I got a voicemail from Dad. Flat tone. No greeting. You made your choice. Don't come crawling back. I sat there, phone in my hand, staring at the screen. They gave the apartment to Ryan. So I gave them everything else, the silence, the bills, the consequences. Let him pay the plumber next time the pipes freeze. Let him sit on hold with the city when they shut off the water. Let him be the one they call at 3 a.m. They left me out of their future. So I left them without a safety net. When I said I was done paying for their lives, they acted like they didn't hear me. Then they punished me with silence. Classic. No calls. No texts. Nothing for a full week. It wasn't anger. They were waiting for me to come crawling back. On the 8th day, they hit back. My mom posted a photo on Facebook. The caption read, "So proud of Ryan, the new man of the house. Family always finds a way." They were standing in front of the apartment I paid to fix. Dad, Mom, my sister, and Ryan. Smiling. Holding the keys I used to carry. It didn't even make me angry. It just confirmed everything. That night, I opened a folder I hadn't touched in months. A quiet little note in my phone where I kept track of every payment. $3,750, basement plumbing. $1,800, wall insulation. $4,230, rewiring. $960, kids' bedroom windows. Every invoice was in my name. Every receipt paid by me. I didn't save them out of spite. I saved them because I always knew this day would come. And then came round 2. They added me back into the family group chat. The same one they deleted me from after the dinner with the keys. First message? From my sister. Guys, Evan's having a moment. Be kind. Not everyone handles rejection well. Then came the gifts. The memes. One with a plumber and a caption. When you fix the pipes but not your attitude. Kyle, our cousin, added. Maybe Ryan will get Wi-Fi strong enough to reach Evan's ego. I didn't reply. I just took screenshots. A few days later, Ryan called me. That was unexpected. We weren't close. He always struck me as the type of guy who quotes business podcasts and thinks budgeting is a personality. But his voice sounded different. Hey man, just wanted to check in. Your dad mentioned something about unpaid bills? Thought maybe we could talk it out. He was cautious. Like HR. I told him to meet me at a cafe near my job. When he arrived, I was already there with a folder on the table. These are the bills. Everything linked to that apartment. Water, repairs, gas, electric. You got the keys now? You've got the bills too. He flipped through them quietly. No arguing. Just reading. Then he looked up and said, They told me you did all this for tax purposes. That it was your idea. That you basically offered to help out, like charity. I didn't say a word. Just reached into my pocket and tapped my phone. An audio file started playing. My mom's voice from January 7th. We really need your help. Your dad doesn't want to ask, but we're desperate. Please, just for the winter. We'll pay you back. Ryan said nothing. Then he whispered, I didn't know. I thought you were just being dramatic. They made it sound like you were unstable. I didn't reply. Then he added something that made everything fall into place. Your dad said he co-signed your car back in the day. Said you owe him. That the least you could do is not make things harder for everyone. I actually smiled. He used my social security number to take out a loan in 2022, I said. I didn't find out until a soft credit pull flagged it. Ryan's face went pale. I have the documents. The emails. The bank letters. Want to see them? I showed him. The next day, Dad called. It was the first time he'd reached out directly since dinner. You're making a mess, he said. We supported you your whole life. Now one apartment, and suddenly you think you're a saint. I didn't say a word. Half an hour later, another call. Then another. Then a suspicious login alert from my bank. IP address? Their town. Coincidence? Maybe. Probably not. That night, I logged into the old joint account, the one I used to pay their utilities. There was a file saved in the drafts folder, titled Evan Draft Letter. I opened it. It was a fake agreement. A document with my forged signature saying I willingly gave up any right to financial reimbursement for property maintenance. I downloaded it, printed it, filed it. The next morning, I called an old friend of mine, a lawyer I once helped fix a dead laptop. You still owe me a favor? I asked. He laughed. I was hoping you'd say that. And then came the collapse. Ryan moved out. Just left. He told my sister he couldn't live in a story full of lies. He said it felt like a cult. Said he felt like he was being pulled into something he didn't understand until it was too late. He was gone by the end of the week. The same day, my sister posted a black screen to her Instagram story with white text. Some people will always choose ego over empathy. God sees all. My mom shared it and commented. Painful when your own turns against you. We still pray for him. I didn't comment. Just added it to the folder with the receipts, the screenshots, the audio, the bank notices, the fake letter. Because this wasn't just a family fight anymore. This wasn't just a family fight anymore. This was a full-on reckoning. And I wasn't losing this time. When Mom texted me, I knew it wasn't a peace offer. It was a setup. Let's meet. Just us. No drama. I said yes. Not because I was curious. Because I was finished playing defense. They picked the old diner off Highway 12. Quiet. Neutral. Too public for shouting. Too empty to hide in. I arrived early. I always do. And I wasn't alone. But they wouldn't find that out until later. They walked in like a team. Dad in front, jaw clenched. Mom just behind, holding her purse like a shield. Emma, sunglasses indoors, like she was hiding from the light. No one ordered anything. They slid into the booth like it was still their table. Mom started first. She always does. We didn't come to argue, she said. We want to fix this. I didn't say a word. Dad leaned forward. You've made your point. The utilities. The bills. The show. We get it. Emma scoffed. Do you? Or are you still making some weird documentary in your head? I smiled. Then I placed the folder on the table. Quietly. I'm not here to argue either. I'm here to finish it. Inside the folder. The fake agreement. The forged signature. The bank letters. The loan fraud. Screenshots from the group chat. Audio from that night Mom begged for help. No one touched it. You used my name for a loan, I said. Used my money to fix a place you planned to give away. Then you tried to erase me from the story. Dad's face didn't move. He was still playing poker. Still betting on silence. So I upped the stakes. You remember that veterans grant you applied for? I asked. Claimed you were still active duty? He blinked. Once. Funny thing. Grandpa had your discharge papers. You weren't eligible. Which means fraud. On a federal application. You wouldn't, he started. I already did. And then the door opened. They all turned. And there he was. My grandfather. Dad's dad. The man they hadn't spoken to in years. The one person in this family who never needed to raise his voice to end a room. He didn't sit. Didn't smile. Just stood at the edge of the booth and looked at his son like he was a stranger. You always thought you were the smartest man in the room, he said. But you never learned the difference between being clever and being decent. Silence. Then he looked at me. I'm proud of you, he said. You didn't turn out like him. And just like that, he turned and walked out. No one moved. Mom was frozen. Emma looked like she was trying to blink herself out of existence. Dad stared down at the table like the surface would split open and swallow him. You want me to stop? I asked. You want me to pretend this never happened? No answer. Then I need one thing. I reached into my pocket, placed a USB drive in the center of the table. This has everything. Screenshots, audios, contracts, forged docs. You try anything else, this goes public. Emma finally spoke. You're not serious. I looked her dead in the eyes. Do I look like I'm bluffing? I stood up, pulled on my jacket. No one stopped me. No one called after me. Not this time. I walked out of that diner like I was walking off stage after someone else's play when I never asked to be cast in. Except now, I had the script, and I was done letting anyone rewrite it but me. I didn't go home after the diner. I didn't want to carry that energy into my new space. Not the guilt, not the silence, not their shadows. I drove to my apartment, unlocked the door, and stood in the hallway for a full minute before I stepped inside. It was empty, but it felt more solid than anything I'd grown up in. No keys missing. No invoices on the fridge. No unpaid favors sitting in the air. I turned my phone off. Slept for 12 hours. The next morning, I woke up, made coffee, and opened my laptop. And then I posted it. The video wasn't dramatic. It didn't need to be. Just 10 minutes of steady, quiet truth. This isn't revenge. This is record keeping. If they wanted silence, they should have stayed honest. I showed screenshots of the group chat jokes, the forged agreement with my signature, my dad's voice in a voicemail, laughing about how he doesn't even read what he signs. My mom begging for help with the house repairs. Emma mocking me in the comments. The bank statements. And the key photo, Ryan getting handed the keys while I sat at the table with the bills. I paid for the roof, the basement, the pipes, the insulation. And they gave the apartment to someone who didn't even know the heater leaked until I fixed it. Then they told the world I was unstable. So here's the other side of the story. I didn't expect the reaction. The video hit 100,000 views in under 2 days. DMs exploded, people telling me their own stories. Brothers, daughters, quiet sons who paid everyone's bills until they couldn't breathe. One mechanic sent me a photo of his new office door. He printed my quote, "If they wanted silence, they should have stayed honest," and taped it right under his hours of operation. Then came the podcasts, the blogs, the therapy forums reposting the link. Even TikTok got involved. Someone mashed my audio over slow-motion footage of family dinners gone wrong. It hit 3 million views. And then it turned. Not for me. For them. Dad. 2 weeks later, he got served by the housing board. Someone, not me, had forwarded the documents from the forged lease in the video. Apparently, when you use your son's name on federal financial paperwork, people notice. He's under official audit. His VA benefits are suspended pending fraud investigation. He posted a vague status. Sometimes we fall so others can climb. Family first. Always. It got 2 likes. One from his golf buddy. The other from a fake profile that I'm pretty sure was my sister. Mom. Her credit card was declined at the grocery store. She called me at 6:13 a.m. the next day. Didn't say hi. Just said, "This is going too far. You're destroying everything." I let it go to voicemail. She left 6 more. In the last one, she cried. Then blamed me for her migraines. Said stress is deadly. Said she hoped I'd feel something when she ends up in the hospital. I didn't reply. Just saved the audio in a folder labeled emotional blackmail. Emma's sister. Her influencer account? Gone. She tried to pivot. Posted some healing journey reels. Claimed she was rebuilding herself after being sabotaged by a narcissist relative. But someone in the comments linked my video. It blew up again. A side-by-side. Her crying me showing invoices. Caption, "You're not the victim just because you were loud." She went private. Then disappeared. Then something strange happened. Ryan texted. I saw it. I saw everything. I'm sorry. He'd moved to Chicago. Got a job. Cleaned up. Said he was ashamed to have taken the apartment, even for a week. Said he had voicemails, my dad telling him to lie if anyone asked about who paid for what. He sent them to me without asking. One of them was chilling. Dad's voice. Evan's the type who always folds if you push hard enough. He always gives in. I used that clip in my follow-up video. And now the money. No, they didn't offer it back. Of course not. But I didn't wait for that. I hired a forensic CPA, a quiet woman named Laura who read my file and said, "Oh, they're in trouble." She helped me calculate everything. Over $29,000 in direct payments, plus $11,300 in cosign services, plus plus an estimated $8,200 in forced repair labor and transportation. Total, $48,500. Then she filed a claim. Not in court, yet, but in collections. Real collections. Now they get letters, emails, phone calls from firms they can't ignore. And the best part? Every refund check goes to my new P.O. box. And I cash them in silence. Last Friday, I got a letter, handwritten, from my dad. Inside, a check, $2,000, and a note. Let's not drag this further. Let the past be the past. I mailed it back, with a sticky note that just said, "There's interest now." Last month, I installed a neon sign in my new garage. It says, "No family discounts. Ever." And under it, I framed one of the invoices I sent them, the one Mom laughed at. Now it hangs next to the register. Customers always ask about it. I just smile and say, "That's the bill that bought my freedom." Sometimes I think about what they say now. Maybe at church. Maybe at some family dinner I wasn't invited to. Maybe they tell the story like it was a misunderstanding. He just snapped. He was always a little fragile. He turned his back on us when we needed him most. But here's the part they never say. I was already gone long before the explosion. I just waited too long to lock the door behind me. It's been 4 months since I last saw any of them in person. Mom still tries. She sends texts at odd hours, like guilt travels best at night. No family is perfect. You'll regret this when we're gone. Do you even remember who we were to you? Sometimes she attaches an old photo. Me at 6. Me fixing something. Me smiling like I didn't know yet. I don't delete the messages, but I don't open them either. They sit there, like flowers left at a grave no one visits anymore. My father sent a letter once. Typed. Formal. 3 paragraphs about how families forgive. About growth. About legacy. At the end, he wrote, "You are still my son." I circled that line with a red pen. Wrote underneath, "But you stopped acting like a father." I mailed it back. Didn't add a return address. Emma? She vanished the second the story stopped serving her. Word got back to me she was trying to write a book. A memoir, supposedly. She'd pitched it as Growing Up with Shadows, a tale of being the golden child in a broken system. A publisher reached out to me to verify facts. I sent them one audio file. Emma, laughing in the group chat. Let Evan deal with it himself. At least he's useful when the plumbing breaks. The deal died the same day. People ask if I got the money back. I got more than money. Yes, the repayments are happening. Collections are slow but efficient. Every time they try to delay, another penalty stacks. But the real currency? Peace. I don't wake up dreading birthdays or fake holidays or surprise emergencies. I don't keep a second checking account in case my sister's rent bounces again. I don't drive across town with tools in the trunk, hoping someone will say thank you. I live small, clean, quiet, and I no longer owe anyone an explanation for that. There was a moment, maybe 2 months after it all, when I felt the old guilt try to crawl back in. I was grocery shopping, and I saw a mother with 2 kids, tired, overwhelmed. For a second, I reached for my phone. I almost texted my mom. "Do you need anything?" Then I remembered the look in her eyes at the diner. How fast she folded into silence when Dad started lying. How quick she was to say nothing when it all hit the fan. That's the thing people don't understand about this kind of family pain. It's not the big betrayals. It's the quiet ones. The way they looked away when it mattered most. I still run the shop. It's doing better than I ever expected. Clients show up with stories, not just broken cars, but broken patterns. I've become the guy people tell things to. Maybe because they know I won't judge. Maybe because I don't try to fix people the way I used to. Last week, a teenager came in with a busted alternator. Said his dad told him to just YouTube it. I fixed it for free. Not because I'm soft. Because I remember what it was like to be young and alone and still pretending you weren't. And yeah, I changed the name of the shop. The old sign, Free Labor Auto, felt like a scar. A joke they made that I carried too long. Now the sign says, "Full price repair. Full piece returned." Underneath, in smaller letters, a brass plaque I paid extra to engrave. In memory of every favor I never got back. People laugh when they see it. They ask if it's a real quote. I just say, it is now. Because I finally understand. I wasn't wrong for caring. I wasn't stupid for helping. I was just late to stop. Now I've stopped, and I've never felt lighter.